Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. I am in the process of finishing the next video for the channel, but I want to give you a quick intro on what it's about. While we were out scouting with Ted Miller a few weeks ago, you might have already watched those videos. If you did, thanks a lot. We filmed some extra tactic videos is what we're calling them. We'll put them on the website and they'll be just tactic based. And we're constantly getting questions about buck bedding. It's one of the things we talk about, every day. So while we were out on Ted's, I found a really cool buck bed and I filmed a quick little segment on how we find buck bedding, what you do after you find it, how you look for potential stand locations close to it. So that's what today's video is all about. I'll walk you through the whole process after I find this buck bed, what we do after that, looking for exit trails and that sort of thing. So I hope you enjoy it. If you have questions about it, please leave them in the comments. We will get to them as soon as we can. Thanks. I was just walking down the edge of this ridge. I was following this trail. And as you can see right here, I come up on all these little thin trees. I don't really know what they are. There's a bunch of rubs on them. See rubs back there. You can see a rub right there. I'm following this trail and I find this buck lair right in here. You can see it kind of over my shoulder. You follow the entry trail in here, there's a bunch of big tracks going in and out of the bed. And right here is the bed itself. You can see that it's pretty good sized. I'll get on this side so my shadow's not in it. The buck is bedded in this spot and he's just rotating around because of the wind. You can see the rubs in it. And then the exit trails leading out of the bed, he's got 3 of them. The one that we walked in on right there. And he's got another one that goes right up under here. He's got another one that goes up underneath this stuff behind me. But there is just hair all over the place in this thing. I mean, buck turds in it. If you find one like this one's very heavily used. Yep, there you go. There's a bunch of hair in it. Where he's just laying in this little opening, this little pocket in here. And he's browsing on all this stuff, all this buck brush. You can see where he's browsing on it. Or a deer is browsing on it, I shouldn't necessarily say he. And then he's leaving this way, or he's could be leaving that way or that way, but that's the key. Once you find the bed like this is a really good buck bed for multiple winds. You follow these exit trails out. That's what we're going to do. You follow this exit trail. Oop. And then you take it to various destinations. You know, this goes out here to my left. I'm not really sure which direction that is. I'm kind of turned around, but it looks like there's a field over there. And I believe that's where Ted killed his late muzzleloader buck. So there should be beans and cut corn out that way. Now that's a few hundred yards away from this bed, but he's coming out of here and he's hitting this trail that I'm walking down right now, and he's headed out towards the food source that way. So the trick is finding out how close you can get to that bed without him seeing you. You know, and we've made it maybe, yeah, there's a bunch of big buck tracks right here in the trail going in and out. We've made it maybe 40 yards, probably not quite far enough yet. There goes deer across the top of the hill out there. But here's this buck's track as he's leaving that bed. And we're starting to get up here far enough away where we could potentially set up. We're about 75 yards from the bed. I can see the cornfield out there along the edge of the timber. And you can start to see some bigger trees. There's a, looks like a hickory tree. No, that's a locust tree. And then there's another tree over there that you could get a stand in beyond it. Could even potentially set up in that tree right there about 12 feet off the ground, just on the back of the tree. And you could shoot this trail where we're finding all these big buck tracks. And right now we're about 60 yards, maybe not even that far. It looks further than what it is because it's so thick, but we're maybe 50, 60 yards from that bed. If you slide in from the field side, right down this ridge, pop up in a stand right there, he's never gonna see you or know that you're in the world. The good thing with that bed that we just found is it sets up for multiple winds. So you could hang right there and just be watching that bed and that bedding area on the point of that ridge until dark when they come out to feed in the evening. I don't know if it would be as good of a morning stand because you got to walk through that cornfield to get out here. And of an evening it could work very well because that field's only about 40, 50 yards up there. You come right in here, pop up in one of these trees, and you're still close enough to the buck's bed where you could kill him potentially during daylight. That's what we're looking for. Every setup is different, you know. Sometimes you can only get within 150 yards of a bedded buck. In this case, it's so thick in there where he's at, and he's got deer bedded around him, you know, you can slide in here and get pretty close, especially on a windy day like today. All right, I hope y'all enjoyed that quick tip. We are gonna have a lot more stuff for you here in the next week. Greg has been working on a scouting segment that Zach and Jake and the guys did. Probably doing more predator hunting. We've got the shed rally coming up in a couple weeks that we're looking forward to. So lots more stuff going on right now before we get into turkey season. But thanks for joining us. And if you haven't already subscribed, please do that right now. Thank you.